What if I told you that the reason that you don't have what you want is because it is coded in your DNA to not have it? Like your financial problems. It's coded in your DNA to struggle financially. Or maybe you're having trouble attracting your soulmate or having trouble in relationships. That's because it's been coded in your DNA to believe that you're not good enough on some deep level. Or it's coded in your DNA to always be alone. Same thing with career success. It's the same thing with your happiness, with your confidence. What is really going on with your DNA is absolutely mind-blowing. I'm going to show you what is happening and how to upgrade your DNA to get anything that you want in life. This is Jake with JakeDucey.com, wishing you a beautiful day. If you're new here, welcome. Welcome. Thanks for being here. And if you're a returner, thanks for coming back. If you haven't yet, I have a free success hypnosis, MP3. About 1 million people from all over the world have used it. And every day I get these awesome stories of people attracting all types of amazing things into their life. More money, new jobs, selling a house that's been on the market for forever, all types of awesome stuff. It's free to use. You just got to listen to it for 1, 2, 3 minutes a day. Nothing that's going to take a bunch of time. It's free, jakeshypnosis.com. You can click right here to get that, or go to jakeshypnosis.com. It's pinned as the top comment in the description right there down below. And let's dive right into this video. Big idea number 1, your DNA is an ancient library. So in 2007, Japanese scientists proved that it's possible to actually store information in your DNA for thousands of years. They placed a message. It was Einstein's famous equation of E equals mc squared, and they put it in the DNA of bacteria, and then they let it replicate for 25 generations. And then after that, they were actually able to pull the message out completely intact. And this shows that DNA can be used as a way to store information just like a computer stores data. So DNA is like a super powerful cosmic hard drive, just kind of like how you would use to store the data on your phone or computer. But the crazy thing is that DNA can actually store a lot more information. 1 tiny gram of DNA, which is pretty much small enough to fit into your little fingertip on your pinky finger, it can store 700 terabytes of data. So a terabyte is 1,000 gigabytes. So we're talking about an incredible computing power. And there's an incredible amount of science behind what they're discovering. DNA isn't at all what we thought it was. Researchers like George Church, now this is pretty crazy. They did experiments and they stored real digital data on DNA. Like, they downloaded one of their ebooks onto DNA strands, and then from the DNA, they uploaded it back onto their computers. And they proved that DNA can actually hold digital information as well, just like your phone or computer stores like digital information or videos or images. And the crazy thing is they were able to store 70 billion copies of that one ebook onto 1 gram of DNA. So this stuff inside of us is much more powerful than we think it is, and it really holds the key to a whole new reality and a new future. Big idea number 2 is your DNA could also hold limitations from your parents or from ancestors that you never even met. Your DNA carries memories from your parents and even ancestors, like your great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandpa, or maybe just your great-grandpa. It could have fears and phobias or strong feelings that you may have that you don't really understand why, or certain problems you have and you don't get why you have it, things that dated back in your family for numerous generations. And this is called epigenetic memory. And basically it just explains like why we have certain traits or reactions or problems in our life that just like run in the family. You're just like your grandpa Bill. You're just like your grandma Susie. That's epigenetic memory, right? And that's like, why do we grow up to be kind of like our parents or our grandparents or whatever? Or why do we have the same financial problems that they have? And a lot of the issues you have in your life, they go back to that. And it's pretty crazy because your genes are essentially instructions inside cells that can be turned on and off. And in a minute, I'm going to show you how to turn on new genes so you can change specific things about your reality. Because once you figure that out, like the science of epigenetics just shows you control your whole reality. And it's pretty incredible, really. And basically, scientists discovered genomic imprinting. And this means that the emotions that parents feel before a baby's born. So this is how far it goes back for you. It's imprinted into your genes, right? And you might be like, well, why does that matter? Because emotions come from experiences. So if you are all the way back in your mom's womb and she had certain strong emotions, maybe your parents were having a huge financial problem when you were in the womb, those emotions actually imprinted genes. And they even flipped on those genes when you were in the womb. You weren't even conscious of it. And that's why it's really important to understand that the problems that you're facing may not even be your fault at all, right? They may have just like been genes that got turned on when you were in the womb, or maybe a stressful environment when you were in the womb. And then once a baby is growing inside of the mother's thoughts, the mother's emotions, even like what the mom eats, they can ultimately affect how a baby grows into a person cellularly. So if they're constantly stressed, they're having this problem and this problem and this problem, it can actually predict the baby's future, which is really crazy. And they've even done a lot of studies on neuroscientists where they've been able to pick up at like the 3 or 4 month mark, a baby can start to actually hear, and they respond. And they found that babies would actually remember certain songs that were played when they were in the womb. So the really, really, really good thing about that is however you've been programmed doesn't matter, because I'm going to show you can actually change it. And that's big idea number 3. Just because you inherit a certain gene to struggle financially or lack of confidence, you're not stuck with it. Scientists now have proven that genes can be turned on and off by experiences, by emotions, and your imagination. So if you practice new positive feelings and you have certain experiences, and maybe you're just mentally rehearsing, you're trying to live in your imagination, you can flip on new genes. Like, for example, just because there's like a gene in your family for struggling, being in debt, or for Alzheimer's, it doesn't mean those things are going to be flipped on. The environment can have an influence, or genetics, but consciously through epigenetics, you can actually control what genes get activated or stay turned on. And that's really the study of turning genes on and off. And in the simplest way, if you think of your genes almost like 2 cell phones that can communicate wirelessly. Well, your brain is communicating wirelessly with your cells or your DNA to actually control the switch or give it the instructions for how it'll ultimately control your future, your body, and your reality. And that's why I'm so big on success hypnosis. If you haven't got it, I have a free financial success hypnosis. You can click right there to get it, or it's jakeshypnosis.com. It's pinned to the comments and in the description right there down below. And really, it's like all about this one big question. Are we going to wait for the world around us to change, or maybe we'll get better genetics just randomly? Or are we going to send new thoughts and new signals to turn on new genes? And that's why success hypnosis is so important, because it's a deliberate action to turn on or switch on new genes for prosperity, genes for success, genes for confidence. So it's free to use. It's jakeshypnosis.com. It's pinned to the comments and in the description right there down below. Now, we'll wrap it all up with big idea number 4, which is you can actually download and install new information. You aren't really downloading it because it already exists. Like when you hear someone say, like, you know, I just received a download of information. It's not just like a figure of speech. Your DNA can actually send and receive like wireless signals, just like built-in like Wi-Fi systems. And you can, just the same way you can send like a text from one phone to another, you can send communications through different cells in your body. And this really opens up this whole key that right now there are electromagnetic waves that are like all around you. Your body's actually just a field of electromagnetic waves. You can't see it, but if your DNA is tuned to the right frequency, then you can download information from these invisible energy waves that are essentially a higher dimension. The same way that you're downloading data off the internet onto your computer, or downloading a new video file from your computer. So you can tune the cells of your body to the frequency of your desires. And essentially the same way that you're tuning a guitar, like you want to tune the guitar and get the D string and the E string. I don't know that much about music, but I know that you can even use those electronic tuners and they'll tune the guitar. Well, you can tune the cells of your body, which will flip on new genes. Now, think about what it is that you want. You may have been programmed cellularly to lack confidence, to struggle financially, to be in debt because that was just something you learned because your parents were always in debt. You may struggle in relationships, in love, whatever it is. That is one frequency, right? It's just an emotion. You know, maybe it makes you feel kind of like closed off and afraid and anxious. Maybe it makes your hands sweaty. It's a frequency and emotion. Well, the thing that you want has its own frequency. So your goal, your desire has a totally new frequency at a different level. You can tap into that frequency by directing your thoughts and emotions into the energy of what you want. For example, I can start to practice imagining my financial success. I could imagine my soulmate. I could imagine the success that I want, being in my dream home. I could mentally rehearse that so much so that I start to feel emotions for it, like excitement for it, right? Yeah, I'm sure that's happened to you where you've daydreamed so vividly, it felt real. Not only did you see it, but you felt it. When you opened your eyes and came back to this reality, you could still feel the emotions of this imaginary thing. Well, that's exactly how you flip on new cells. That's how you actually turn off old programs in your DNA through multi-generations about struggling financially or about having problems in relationships. You could shut it off simply by tuning the cells of your body and your brain to a new frequency, the same way you tune a guitar to a certain note. Tune your frequency through control of your attention to what it is that you want. Like when I was like in my early to mid 20s, I had like a couple thousand YouTube subscribers. I couldn't get any progress. It wasn't working. Well, I realized I just kept feeding into the old frequency. It's like my guitar being out of tune, and I keep strumming it going, why is my guitar out of tune? Oh, it should be different. Instead, I have to change the tune. Well, what is tune? What is frequency for you. It's your thoughts and emotions. Emotions is energy in motion. So your thoughts control your frequency, and where your frequency is influenced, this sends those Wi-Fi signals or those text messages to all the cells in your body, and that flips what DNA, what codes in your body to activate for prosperity or for the opposite. So what I started to do is every day I would listen to this success hypnosis, and I would start to practice being in the reality to such a detail that I wouldn't get up till I could feel the emotions. Like, till I literally would wake up, and when I would open my eyes, that reality I was imagining felt as real. So get my free success hypnosis. It's jakeshypnosis.com. Focus on one specific thing at a time, whether it's finances, whether it's love, whether it's friendships, relationships, confidence, health. Pick one thing and ask yourself, can I give thanks for a future that hasn't happened yet? You turn on the success hypnosis, and your whole goal while you listen is, can I build a picture in my mind where I can see and feel it clear enough that I can give thanks for it before it's happened in my physical reality? That sends the new signals, that activates the new brain, the new genes, and then you realize you control your reality, and you can break multi-generational curses or programming that we think we're stuck with, that we're not. It's just that we have to learn to take control of our own brain, our own thoughts, and our own frequencies, and tune the cells of our body to a new frequency so we can start to make that beautiful music that we really want to dance to, which is the same thing as creating our own reality. So if you enjoyed today's video, give me a comment down below that says, I control my reality. Comment down below, I control my reality. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like, subscribe, bell notification, and get my free success hypnosis, jakeshypnosis.com. It's pinned to the comments and in the description. Wishing you a beautiful day, and I'll see you on the next video.